All right, these problems are a little bit more of an extension than what we're used to seeing. So we'll take a little more time with these. Looking at this, we do have parallel lines in all of these. And we learned that when we have parallel lines, we look for our F's, our C's, and our Z's. So looking at this, when I look at this first one, I see an E. I don't see any of those different shapes. And we've also talked about that sometimes we have to add what's called an auxiliary line. So we have to put a line in to aid in a diagram. Now, if I just extend this line right here up to there, I have just created this C. So to review with the C, we know that these two angles inside of here are same side interior angles, are supplementary. So if this angle here is 56, we can conclude that this angle up here is 180 minus 56, or 124 degrees. All right, if that's 124 degrees, we also know that it's supplementary to the angle inside of here. So actually, I know that this angle right here is equal to the 56. And that would be the congruent supplements theorem that would allow us to conclude that both of these angles are congruent, since they're both supplementary to 124. Now, we're going to employ one more theorem here. X is an exterior angle to the triangle over here. So just a reminder that an exterior angle is equal to the sum of the two non-adjacent interior angles. So looking at this, we know that X is going to equal 42 plus 56. So X in this case is 98 degrees. Now, I don't know if you guys noticed that that was kind of a long way to get to the fact that X is actually equal to this angle plus this angle. Now, I could ask you to write a proof about that, so make sure that you're prepared to do so if asked. I'm going to have you go ahead and pause the video for a minute and go ahead and give this problem right here, this number 2, a try. Okay, well, in the previous problem, we learned that this angle right here is equal to the sum of this angle and this angle. And again, we could prove this, but we've already pretty much proven it in the last problem. So I could say that 71 equals X plus 38. And we know how to solve that. We simply subtract 38 from both sides. So subtracting 38 from both sides will get us 33 degrees. So we know that in this case, X would be 33 degrees. All right, so coming over here to this top right problem, we have some interesting things going on in this diagram. I see a pair of parallel lines, but I cannot connect them in any way, shape, or form to get the F, the C, or the Z. So I'm going to have to add an auxiliary line again. The question is, where do I add the auxiliary line? Sometimes we have to just do this by trial and error and add an auxiliary line. However, after lots of effort here, one of the things that I noticed just looking at this is if I draw this auxiliary line that makes a triangle and cuts these two lines as a transversal, I gain F's, C's, and the triangle. So I'm going to go ahead and add some information to this because I think it's a little challenging without adding some more variables in there and some more information. All right, I know that these two angles are corresponding here. This angle right here, this angle right here. So I know that they are congruent. But I don't have this whole angle on the left. So I'm going to go ahead and add another variable in order to communicate about that. So the X would also go here because of vertical angles. So then my angle over here is going to be X plus 46. Well, then I notice that I have this vertical angle here. So I know that this right here is going to equal X plus 46 plus the 27, because that all makes up this angle right here that's a part of the vertical angle. All right, so this is an exterior angle to the triangle. So I know that the exterior angle that is made up of the expression x plus 46 plus 27, I know that that's going to equal the two non-adjacent interior angles, which I have labeled as y and x. It's going to equal their sum. Well, since I have an x on both sides of the equation, I can simply subtract the x off. So now I know that y is going to equal 27 plus 46, which happens to be 73 degrees. I'm going to ask you to go ahead and pause the video and give number 4 a try on your own. Remember, we might have to add an auxiliary line somewhere. And the auxiliary lines that we've been adding have created triangles for us as well as gotten us an F, a C, or a Z in the process. So go ahead and stop the video for a minute and see if you can do problem number 4. Try some different auxiliary lines and see what you can get. All right, well, I chose to add an auxiliary line here. So I turn this into a triangle. And in doing so, I see parallel lines here getting me a C. Now, in order to find this angle down here, I need to know what W is. Well, I already had these parallel lines, and that's C going on. So I know that those two are supplementary. So I know W is going to equal 108 because those two are supplementary. And 108 plus 72 equals 180. So now using this other C that we've made, I know that 108 is supplementary with the angle down here at the bottom. So it will also be 72. All right, and now 98 degrees, again, happens to be the exterior angle to a triangle. The exterior angle equals the sum of the two non-adjacent angles. So I know that 98 is going to equal U plus 72. I'm going to go ahead and subtract 72 from both sides. And I'm going to get 26 degrees for U. How'd you do? Hope it went well.